Tales from Retail.
Redesigned Front End is killing me. Posted by user How Small Are We? I work for a giant corporate retail home improvement hardware chain. Recently, they decided redesigning the entire front end from returns to checkout was a great idea. Without consulting actual cashiers or customers, they removed the counters. The 3 feet of safe space between customers and the associates who interacts with them in favor of a shoulder-to-shoulder checkout experience. Confused, upset customers abound. As you can imagine, that in itself has spawned many fun stories. But my tale this morning is about the flow of our new returns area and the customers who refuse to come in through the entrance. This story is repeated every day, every hour, almost every minute of our day at the new service desk. Our desks are now called pods. Each working desk features a register that can toggle between a sales register, a returns register, order release, and special services, meaning each register and the worker behind it is expected to do everything. Sadly, the customer struggles to understand if you are standing looking at your screen, you are actually working. Yesterday, I was returning a bunch of electrical pieces for a customer. One of his switches did not have a scan tag. We happened to be right next to the electricals, so the customer ran to go get one I could scan. My desk is filled with more bags of his returns, so I keep scanning as he runs off to go grab one. As soon as he leaves the desk, a woman walks up from the exit behind me on her phone. I hear, "Well then, I will find another bank. Goodbye." And she hangs up. I'm trying not to look at her because I am clearly working. I head motion to the few people who are standing waiting in line as she pushes closer to the edge of my desk. Pointing to the line, I say, "Ma'am, the line for service starts right there." As I say this, the guy gets back with his switch and he hands it to me. To my shock, this lady says, "Excuse me, I was here first," to the guy. Normally, I am a very patient person, but this new layout has me working on my last nerve. I calmly but firmly look directly at her and say, "Ma'am, I told you the line for service starts right there. There are people ahead of you. I was working with this gentleman before you walked up to my desk from the exit. The entrance starts right there." Her, "No, I was here first. I just hung up on a very important call. Had I known, I would not have hung up. Now I have to call them back." Me, "Ma'am, I suggest you call her back while you are waiting in line. I will get to you as soon as I can." Meanwhile, I am scanning returns the entire time. Her, "What is your name?" The poor guy is just standing there looking totally confused, and I can see he is starting to feel protective of me, which happens a lot in retail when rude people attack service workers. He doesn't miss a beat and says to the lady, "Her name is right there. I guess that explains why you couldn't read the exit sign either." At this, she storms out the entrance, pushing back through the people waiting, while getting back on her phone. I'm not sure if she was calling the bank she hung up on or my manager, and don't care either way. Wow, it's a Karen. This needs to be in like entitled bitch too, cause geez, she just comes in through the exit, cuts the whole line, tells the guy that she was waiting on that she was there first, and then goes out through the entrance. Clearly, this woman has never been told no in like her entire life. Oh my god. I do not miss working retail, but you know what, guys? I might have to do it. I might. Not finding any IT jobs, so I just might have to. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Customer gets angry when I uphold company policy. Posted by user Writer for God. When I worked for a thrift store, there were discounts offered to military, seniors, students, etc. For any discounts, proof must be offered via valid ID. This has pissed off tons of customers who qualified but did not have valid ID. Exceptions have been made in certain situations. Karen and her daughter were shopping at the thrift store and comes to my till. I do my usual spiel of asking if she had any qualifying discounts while I ring up her stuff. Karen says student, and I ask for ID. She motions for her daughter to come to the register, who happens to be wearing a school uniform with a school logo on it. Now with this, I cannot give her the discount. It has to be a physical ID. I tell the customer, and she is immediately irate, saying that her daughter's school uniform should be enough. It isn't. She blabs to someone over the phone while I continue to ring her stuff, totaling over $80. She then ends the call and asks if I got her discount, and I politely told her that I didn't and that I needed a physical school ID. Karen then proceeds to tell me the other stores do it too, and that I'm the only one in the store who doesn't give her the discount without an ID. Blah, blah, blah. This one hurt me personally, and I don't know if she said this to make it personal or what. This customer is nothing but rude to me for the entire transaction. After the transaction was finished, she left and I told my manager everything she said, and the supervisor lets me know that the reason why I'm the only one that does that is because I'm doing my job. This is another instance of people trying, like there's people at my old job that would try to get me to do things that I was not allowed to do. And even after I told them like several times, like, dude, I could lose my job if I do this for you. Well, yeah, but I'm not home. I need you to do. No, fuck you, buddy. I'm not losing my job. I don't even know you. I don't give a fuck about you. Why would I put my job on the line for you? Like, good for you, OP. It's not your turn. Posted by user intern_waffle. Helping someone with something or other at the service counter. She's a bit confused on how something works, and so I explain it to her. She begins to walk away, but still confused, so I explain it one more time and she gets it and decides to order. As she's ordering, a woman walks up and slams a ham down onto the counter. Can I get this sliced? I responded with the most neutral yet firm thing I could think of in half a second. You sure can, as soon as it's your turn. To which she replied, I was behind her. Referring to the woman I'm still helping. I'm currently helping her. It's still her turn. The ham lady then swings around to meet the guy she's with, who is approaching from a few feet away and probably didn't hear, and says they're going. He asks, aren't you getting a ham sliced? She says, no, because this guy's too busy fucking around over here. To which I say out loud to both of them, I am currently helping another customer. She left the ham on the counter to rot and left. Never came back. Who raises these people? Like, I'm so confused. Like, if you're behind her, like, do they think you have like 4 arms and can separate your body to work with like 2 sets somewhere, like one set of arms somewhere else to do what she needs and the other set to do what you're doing with the current customer? Like, what do they think? I don't get it. Why do they think that you could just split yourself into 2 to do 2 things at once? I don't know. These people are fucking crazy. I almost feel like most of the stories posted in Tales from Retail can be put in either entitled parents, entitled bitch, or entitled people. Like, they're all just so entitled. That store doesn't exist anymore. Posted by user Bad Dog Club. I work at this cafe that a couple of years ago was sold to new owners. It used to be X, but now it's called Store at X. A man comes in with a gift card from X, saying he called earlier and the guy on the phone said he could use it. First of all, no you didn't. I know for a fact nobody called a call like that since I'm up front with the registers and phone. I don't feel like arguing with him because fuck that. So I take it and ask my manager how to put it in the system. My manager was actually one of the owners of the former Store X and tells him that we can't take it since we're not actually X anymore and haven't been for about 5 years. The man freaks out and throws the gift card at my manager and storms out. Most places have an expiration date on their gift cards, I think, which I think is stupid and fucking ridiculous. And I'm sorry, if you spent money somewhere and the business is taken over and still it's one of the original owners, you would think they would just honor it, like issue them a new one. Maybe not for that same full amount, but something like money was spent. You're basically stealing from those people if you don't honor it. So I think it's stupid, but at the same time, I don't, because it is a different business, but it still seems like it's affiliated. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Company policy is on receipt, but she refuses to read it. Posted by user Typh-any? Typhany? I don't know. I'm sorry. I work at a retail store where we have frequent and regular customers that we know by name that continuously come in to exchange clothes they bought but can't refund. Our policy is that we will refund full price items within 14 days. With our sale items, we can only exchange within 14 days. However, we also have a policy that anything, sale or full price, can only be exchanged after the 14 days. This is all printed on the bottom of every receipt. This lady comes in with a sale item asking for a refund. She was well over 14 days as well, and I told her that we could only exchange it for her. She has a fit and says that she doesn't like the item and it doesn't fit, blah 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 blah. I told her that I'm sorry, we can only exchange it for something else in the store. She asks for my manager and I gladly call her out. Guess what? My manager repeats the exact same thing. Now she acts all innocent and says that she didn't know that was our policy and that it wasn't clear. My manager and I looked at each other and rolled our eyes mentally. I highlighted the bottom of the receipt and showed it to her, stating that our policy was clearly printed on the receipt. She ended up taking her top to a better store. Good riddance. It's like willful ignorance. If they don't see it, it doesn't exist, right? If they don't see it, they can do what they want, right? Oh, people. I hate retail, but Yes or no answer. Posted by user Elizabeta LaFay. I work for a home improvement store at a customer service desk. Company policy is that if you make a return without a receipt, or if the purchase was made with a store credit, you need to have your ID to even process the transaction. So enters this grumpy old man. I can tell he's going to be a model customer by the way he throws all of his items on the counter and throws his receipt at me. I ask him if there was anything defective or if he just didn't need the items. No response. I ring up the items, and when I total it out, the register prompts me for his ID. Looking at the receipt, he purchased the entire order with the store credit. Me. Sir, I need to see your ID, please. Him. What for? Me. Because you used a store credit when you purchased the items. He seems satisfied with the answer and pulls his ID out. All seems fine, and then he just holds it up for like 2 seconds, shouting, "Here!" Me. No, sir, I need it to enter into the system to process the transaction. Him. Well, what do you do with that information? Because you guys have been compromised before and I don't want something getting all my information. Me. Well, sir, what? He cuts me off to shout at me. Him. It's a simple yes or no answer. TLDR. He asked me a question that was more than just yes or no, and then yelled at me when I didn't just say yes or no. What? What do you do with all the information is not a yes or no question. Oh my goodness. I totally understand not wanting to give your information, but people are just assholes now. Just assholes. Slim Shady, posted by user Cactus MILF. I just read a story about a worker almost getting in trouble for saying "you're welcome." It reminded me of this experience I had on mobile. When I worked in Delhi, we'd constantly have lines. Dinner rush was the worst. I thought I'd mix things up a bit to keep a good mood for myself and everyone else. Working through the lines, I say, "Who's next?" And when no one answers, I say again, "No dice." Third try. "Will the real Slim Shady please stand up?" Finally, The next customer steps up and the line is moving again. Now, since I got such a good reaction that time, I started using it more. I always got a few chuckles or snickers. I've even gotten compliments on the reference. One night, all is going smoothly as it can, and after a rush, a manager pulls me aside. Apparently, someone got offended at the reference but didn't say anything to me about it. So I was told to watch what I say. I was so confused by it. How does someone get offended at an applicable reference/pun? I asked my manager, saying I didn't understand since I'd gotten many positive reactions before. He couldn't tell me. He looked drained and like he just wanted to give up and drink himself to sleep or something. The retail look we all know and have. Asking my brother afterwards, he said maybe someone thought I was calling them a drug addict since at the time that song came out, Eminem was an addict. I still don't get it. Am I just dumb here? No, I think they're just overly sensitive, and I would have got a chuckle out of that if somebody said that. I don't know. Yeah, people are too pearl clutchy these days, I think. Like, just get your freaking underwear out of your crack and release the wedgie that is constantly inhibiting you from being, you know, a decent person, I guess. Just chill. Chill, my dudes. Chill. Short and sweet. No, ma'am. That store has been closed for 20 years, and this is no longer a register. Posted by user Slith_Urin. I used to work at a bookstore that had 2 levels. The street level floor had always been a bookstore, but the basement level used to be a record shop like 20 years ago. The service desk in the basement level where I was always stationed was the same desk that used to be the registers for the record store. One day, this lady comes in and tries to pay at the service desk, and I explain that it's just a customer service desk and I only have a regular computer to do searches for customers, but she insists it's a register. She then says, "I've been shopping here for 30 years. This is a register." And I explained that when the record store closed, we took over the lease for the basement level and that the only registers we had were upstairs by the exit. But she keeps insisting that I'm wrong. Like, why would I lie about that? Please note, the bookstore did sell records, but the records were upstairs, and it was a very small 2-table display of only modern pressings due to the rise in vinyl interest. My department was reference materials, dictionaries, test prep maps, etc., so there was no logical reason for this woman to have confused us for the record store in the first place. Edit 2. Something I probably should have mentioned. Due to us talking over the lease of the lower level, we did not have an elevator or escalator in store, just a set of stairs within the store and a dumbwaiter to transport carts of books between the levels. But there was an escalator and elevator in the lobby of the building. Typically, people are resistant to use the stairs, I guess, so I always offered to walk their books up to the register while they went and used the building elevator/escalator. As far as the woman's age goes, she was not elderly, but wasn't young either. It's very possible this was a sign of early onset dementia, but I'm not a doctor, so I'm not making that diagnosis. So this wasn't too bad, but I guess, is it Tales from Retail because you don't technically work in retail? I mean, you're affiliated, I don't know. It is kind of Tales from Retail because she is trying to buy something, I guess. But poor lady, she's confused. The Family of Thieves. Posted by user BCMC123. First time poster, also on mobile. Bear with me. I used to work for a high-volume thrift store and people used to steal from us a lot. To the point where my store manager would ban people for even doing slightly sketchy things within the store. We used to get lots of real gold jewelry donated to us. Earrings, bracelets, necklaces, you name it. We would have people come into the store to price these for us based on their worth, and we would put them locked behind glass. At this point in time, we would keep the key in a drawer, and we didn't have enough staff for someone to always be monitoring the glass cabinet area. So if someone wanted to look at something there, they would have to go to the cash, and whoever was there would call an associate to the area to help them. This one time I was called over to the cabinets and I was showing a lady a case of rings. These ones weren't the gold ones, but they were close to where the gold was held as well. When she was done, she stated, "You guys are running low on gold right now. Not a lot of donators anymore, huh?" I thought it was sarcasm because we always had so much, so I laughed. Until I noticed her straight facial expression and realized she was serious. I looked down and all the gold was gone. My store manager checked the cameras and saw a man casually walk behind the counter and take the key out of the drawer the same as we would and pocket all of it. The worst part about it was that his wife and 3 kids were there and he was handing things for his kids to put in their pockets. They all left the store without buying anything. And a few minutes after that was when I was called to the counter. This man, along with his family, were regulars. We knew they'd be back. So I think the next week he was back, and as soon as my store manager identified him, security was called immediately. He didn't confess and started to yell when the cops arrived. "How dare you do this? In front of my wife and kids? You'll see a lawsuit and I'll be swimming in this company's money." The woman and the kids were escorted by security as well. They were checked while they were leaving the store, and the kids had toys stuffed in their pockets, and their mother had clothes with tags on them underneath her regular clothes. Needless to say, we never saw a lawsuit, nor did we see that family again. This story is actually told to new associates the company hires to warn them about leaving the key in the drawer. Now someone always holds the key on their lanyard. Holy shit. I wonder if they got all that jewelry back that they stole. Holy fuck, the whole family is involved. And this isn't rare, like this happens everywhere. These people are raising their kids to be little thieves. It's fucking sickening. Oh, what a sad world. The infamous, "Is anyone else working today?" Posted by user use10100_. I work in a shoe store, which happens to sell other items. Normally, people come to my register, and without any questions, I let them check out in shoes, even though there's another register just 10 feet away to check items that aren't shoes out. I got a customer with 2 kids and her husband who came waiting since I was helping another customer order some shoes that we did not have. After standing there for just under a minute, the interaction went like this. Her. "Is anyone else working?" With the attitude, of course. Me. "Yes?" I proceed to call my coworker and realize that he was already walking to the back to get something for a customer. Me. "There is, but he is currently helping someone else." Her. "You could at least acknowledge me and say, 'I'll be with you in a second.'" Me. I simply do not answer to that one and proceed to continue with the customer I was already helping. Her. "You know, like, you could have said, 'I'll be with you in a second.'" Me. "I'm helping her. There's another register right over there, should you be in a hurry." The customer who was being helped just said, "He's helping me." I did not want her to get involved in that, so I somewhat quickly proceeded to ask her a question about the shoe being ordered. I admit that I could be nicer and whatnot, but I frankly do not feel the need to state the obvious, and I've worked there for 2 years, and it's my only issue with a customer. Her husband was just standing there, and quite frankly could tell that the guy understood that I was not really making anything personal, and just trying to finish the task at hand and move on to the next without interruption and efficiently. They eventually just went to another register after she waved her hand in a rude manner to dismiss me. As strange as that sounds, I can never quite understand people who go and complain about not being served quick enough. If one does not have time, simply leave or find another register. It's what I do when I go places and deem that the wait is too long. I even get a bit annoyed when the person says, "Sorry for the wait." Working retail, I know that this is not genuine, and quite frankly, they should not be sorry for things that are out of their control. The phrase, "perception is reality, facts do not matter," is perfect for the retail world. This is so spot on. Oh my god, my dudes, this is so spot on. Like, this is why I don't want to work retail. The main reason I don't want to work in retail or customer service is because I don't like being fake. This is why I'm not censored, my dudes. I'm my true self all the time, 100% all the time. I'm my true self. So I'm a very cynical person. I'm a very good judge of character, and I find it very hard to lie through my teeth to give someone good service who doesn't deserve it. So I really don't want to put myself through that. It'd be like an internal struggle all day, every day, fighting, like feeling like a fake. You know what I mean? So I totally get it, OP. I totally get it. Don't say sorry to me. Like, I understand part of the customer service industry, they want you to be like, what is it called? Autonomous robots. They just want you to repeat a script, greet everybody, make everybody feel like they're a special snowflake and that your business is wanted. Come on, these corporations don't fucking really give a shit if you have a good day or not. They just want your money. It's all a facade. It's all a facade. I see through all of it. And the award for most patient cashier ever goes to, posted by user Capitan Camp Dackle. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go. What follows is a true and accurate account of transaction I just witnessed in a branch of a well-known British bakery chain whilst on my lunch break. Customer: do you have any sausage rolls? Cashier: yes, how many would you like? Customer: are they suitable for my child? Cashier: Customer: how hot are they, please? Cashier: we have some that are just ready and hot, and some that are prepackaged and cold. Customer: do you have any that are in between? Cashier: I'm afraid not, sorry. Customer: oh, well, do you have a fridge? Cashier: yes, but... Customer: put 2 hot ones in the fridge and bag 2 cold ones, please. Cashier: I can't do that, I'm afraid, and the cold sausage rolls comes in a pack of 4. Customer: well, I only want 2 cold ones, and the other 2 I want lukewarm. Cashier: I could give you 4 hot ones, and you could just wait until they've cooled down to eat them. Customer: that's no good. He wants one now. Can I blow on it and see if he'll take it? Cashier: I'm afraid you will have to buy the sausage rolls first. Customer: well, that's no good. Let me see. Cut them up into little pieces and put them together in 2 separate bags, and then that way they will be in between. Cashier: okay. The cashier cuts the sausage rolls up into small pieces and places the pieces in 2 separate bags. The queue is now 20 customers strong, at least, and stretches into the street. It comprises mostly of people, like myself, who need to get back to work. Cashier: is that all for today? Customer: can I have one of your spooky Halloween biscuits? Cashier: yes, which one would you like? Lord preserve us. Customer: which one do you recommend? It's a cookie, lady, not a Fabergé egg. You're not making an investment here that will benefit your descendants. Take the bat-shaped one and get on your bike. That is quite the patient cashier. But you know what? It really pays sometimes. Like, this is going back on the last comment I made on the last story about being fake. But there are times where it does pay because, especially being a woman in IT, there's quite a few instances where people just, men in particular, I'll take that back. I take that back. Not even men in particular. I find it was more women that didn't take me seriously when they got me on the phone, and they kind of stumbled and they're like, I'm looking for a tech on the help desk. And I'm just like, yeah, that's who you got. Can I help you? Like, that's when my attitude starts to slip through. But there are times where there's people that are just so, like, how do you even get up? Like, how do you even get a job? You're so stupid kind of people. But you sit there and you're patient enough with them. I made a call that should have taken 5 to 10 minutes tops. It turned into a 2.5 hour phone call. That's patience. That is patience, my dudes. If you have patience, then you're amazing. If you have that much patience, then you're an amazing person. And keep doing what you're doing, because you rock. And the last story of the day is called Previous Employee Tries to Make Me Break Company Policy. Posted by user Definitely My One Account. I've been with a clothing chain store that has only been in my city for a few years, but has recently opened up more and more stores. Because of this, experienced staff are shuffled around stores as newer staff are trained to ensure smooth running, which means a lot of us can go back and forth or between stores pretty frequently. So if I go to a new store, I'll see a few people that I've worked with, and if not, we have mutual coworkers. Everyone knows everyone, kind of deal. Some of the staff, almost the entire management team, have been with the company since coming to our city. I haven't, but I've been with the company for 3 years, so I've met probably all of them, and most of them I know quite well. We also offer a discount if you bring in recycled clothing, which is in the form of a voucher. You can only use this voucher on full-priced items, and it says this everywhere. 1 voucher equals 1 full-priced item discount. I had a customer come in with her husband, and they already had vouchers with them. They wanted to buy a sale item that was literally only $15, down to $10. With the voucher, it would come to about $9.50. I explained that the voucher was only valid on full price. Customer: oh, that's a new rule. When did that happen? Me: I've been with the company for 3 years and it's been the case for that long, but I can't speak for previously. Customer: well, we should have been informed when it changed because it has not always been that way. Me: it actually says the policy on the bottom of the voucher and in-store signage that would have been up as it is in every store at the time. Customer: well, that's not good enough. I used to work here and I know we used to use it on sale items. Me, faking friendly: oh wow, which store did you work at? Customer: first store in the city, and my managers would do it all the time for me. Me: oh, that's so cool. Were you there for opening? Who were your managers? Customer: you wouldn't know them. They've all gone. Me, waiting for a response. Customer: John, Stacy, Paul. Me: oh, no way. Paul is lovely, but he just moved from our store back to blank, and I know Stacy recently left the company. But John will be working at another store. If you want me to give him a ring to confirm, he's a close friend and it's not busy at the moment. Let me call. This customer was shocked and bright red. I obviously caught her in a bluff because I have never heard of the voucher being used in conjunction with any other offer, even staff discount. So for her to say she had used the voucher on a sale item with staff discount was absurd. She basically quickly said she didn't want to bother Paul and said she'd just go without the voucher being used. But her husband was constantly angrily mumbling. Because she was a previous employee, she had to have known that if I did, as she insisted, it would have flagged on the system and I would have had been berated. Funny story was that I had drinks with Paul not long after and mentioned I met this woman, and he said it was typical of her to be completely wrong, but convinced she was right. Oh, cons. So many cons. Like, all these stories I'm reading lately are just about con people that they're just trying to pull the wool over people's eyes, but they're I'm sorry, they're just not intellectually on that level to get a heads up on anybody. Oh god, this was gut-wrenching. Alright, my dudes, we have reached the end of this video. If you liked it, as always, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and hitting the little bell icon to be notified when I have future videos just like this, so you never miss one. As always, the links to these stories will be in the description, so head on over to Reddit, my dudes, and show these posters some love by giving them some upvotes. You know they deserve it. And while you're in the enchanted land of Reddit, head on over to r/Reddit Fairy and submit your stories, because you never know, it just might show up in the next episode. So, until next time, take it easy, my dudes.